From Lagos, Nigeria, this is News Central. I'm Felicity Ezewike. The top stories tonight. Police seal off proposed venue of opposition ADC rally in Lagos, cite security concerns. Fuel scarcity looms as Nupeng threatens nationwide strike on Monday over face-off with Dangote refinery. UK Foreign Minister David Lammy appointed new Deputy Prime Minister, replaces Angela Rayner, who resigns amid tax scandal.
In business, Central Bank of Nigeria creates compliance department, directs financial institutions to submit regulatory reports to new units.
And in sport, South Africa and Benin Republic win to increase pressure on Nigeria Super Eagles ahead of crucial 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier against Rwanda.
Welcome. Tonight begins now. Many thanks for joining us. We begin tonight in Lagos. Following the alleged intimidation of political opposition, as anticipation builds in Lagos for Saturday's meeting of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, a significant police deployment at the venue has raised questions about potential disruptions. The event, organized by one of Nigeria's key opposition parties, comes amid ongoing concerns over political gathering in the region. News Central, Mono Balagbogo, was underground at Lion Field, Alimosho. We have it ready now from my colleague, Mono Balagbogo.
A crucial African Democratic Congress meeting tomorrow is in limbo as heavy police presence was seen at the venue. Ahead of the Lagos ADC political party meeting scheduled to hold here at the Lion Field, just 20 steps behind me, you can see security operatives of the Lagos State Police Command has sealed the entire premises. We were not allowed to shoot, we're not allowed to speak to police officials. The ADC, one of Nigeria's leading opposition parties, claims these tactics are part of a larger effort to suppress dissent. Lagos party leaders, including Gbadebo Driver, via his official X handle, described the deployment as disappointing, while stated on record that the Lagos APC is abusing state institutions.
We are not doing a rally, we are not doing a protest, we just want to gather as an organization. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is why we are free, that's why we are in Nigeria, that's why we are in a democracy, that's why we are not under military rule. Yes. So we are going to go and see the commissioner now, and by God's grace we'll get a favorable response.
Questions remain about whether the party has official clearance to use Lion Field. No party officials were on site at the time of filing this report. Attempts to speak with venue managers and nearby residents were refused by security operatives. Meanwhile, the Deputy Police Public Relations Officer refused to comment on the matter. News Central continues to monitor the situation of things, and we'll be here again tomorrow to see if the Lagos State ADC will be able to have its meeting as intended. In Lagos, for News Central, I am Mono Balagbogo.
Mono is here with me in the studio. He was at the venue of the planned rally of the ADC. Thank you very much for being here. We're also joined by the party's Lagos State Chairman, George Ashiru, to provide further perspective on the situation. Thank you for being here as well. Let me start with Mono and just get some perspective. You said the police did not make an official statement. Since then, has there been an update as to why a rally or a meeting was cut off?
Well, Felicity, no update at the moment. But from, experience doing this job, especially covering politics, you see this narrative. You recall the time that Peter Obi was supposed to visit Edo State and all the drama that played out, and all the APC, especially their chieftains, could say was that it's because of security, because you can't really tell. Peter Obi has a massive following, and the same Peter Obi is also scheduled to be in that meeting tomorrow, as well as Ralph Aregbesola. So these are key chieftains in the ADC, and I think the explanation that will probably come from the Lagos State Police as time goes on will be that they're just trying to maintain law and order. They don't want anything to go out of hand and just want to have everything under control.
Yeah, but they are yet to give an official statement
That's
as
right.
to why. I mean, in a democracy, you expect that there will be a reason before a rally is stopped.
Because according to Vival, they put out notice to the Commissioner of Police, and even after the time he was there this morning, he actually said they were going back to have meetings with the Commissioner, but no update from him. Also, just I think an hour ago, he posted on his official X handle saying that he is going to officially declare and back the opposition tomorrow. So we'll see if it will be able to hold at that same venue in Alimosho.
I'll be relying on you for further updates. But let's go to George and see if he has, a more current information. Has the police given your party a reason for stopping the rally? And on that, was it a rally or a meeting? Because we could hear Vival in that interview saying they're not coming here to do a rally or to protest. So let's clear that as well. But importantly, has the police given you a reason for their action today?
I think we need to go at the context of what is happening. Ever since ADC has become the beautiful political bride, and the ADC has been engaging in the proper, the proper engagement of democracy, which is to do checks and balances on the policies of the government of Nigeria that is led by the APC. We have seen an uptick in the attack on ADC activities and ADC figures. We remember what happened to Tambuwa. We know that Dino Melaye is now under some kind of scrutiny. We know that in Kaduna, El-Rufai was attacked. We know that it's somewhere in River States, and in Kebbi State, Malami was also a subject of political attacks. All of this did not happen until ADC was in the picture. These things did not happen 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 5 months ago, but all of a sudden, because Nigerians have decided that they need a credible alternative, suddenly the government is showing that it is no longer practicing democracy. We are a form of civilian dictatorship.
I know you're explaining, sir, but for the purpose of our viewers who might not be following the drama, we live in a democracy as we know it for now. So some clarity as to whether, the police can't just come and close off a meeting or a rally in a democracy. So I'm trying to find out from you, because my colleague who was on the ground could not get that reason from the police. I'm asking, as a party, did you get any clarification from the police beyond this being, giving you reasons to believe there is a political motive?
The bigger question you should ask is, has there been any activity there that warrants the police going there 48 hours before an activity? Were there any posters put up? Was there any gathering there that will warrant the police going in advance? If the police came 2 hours before the event, 3 hours before the event, based on the fact that there was evidence that there were issues, that would have been okay. But this one is a police. If the police was not aware of the event, why were they there? They were clearly aware of the events because the organizing committee wrote to the police, to the DPO, and to the area command, asking for permission to have the event. And then the response of the police was to send people there 48 hours before the event, so that the presence of the police with Black Maria and all that is basically to say, don't even come here. And then, fair enough, we have now engaged them as at today. Commissioner of Police, just tell us. This is a simple democracy. Just tell us, what is the purpose? What is the reason? Are they there to protect us? Are they there to secure the place so that we can have the event? Or is there any reason? Just make a pronouncement so that we will know our rights and we'll be able to know what to do about it.
So from what you're saying, you also don't have clarity as to why your meeting today was disrupted by the police. What can you tell us? What can you tell us about your party's next moves? Because you plan to have a meeting or a rally. You need to also clarify that as well.
We can't have rallies. This is not a campaign. We're not in election season. We have been having gales of defections of key political figures from other parties all over the country, and Lagos is not an exception. We have thousands coming in from different parties. PDP has come in their thousands. Now Labour is coming in, obviously, in their thousands. And we've had events in Koshofe, in Ojo. We've had events 2 weeks ago in all the local governments headed by Etiosa. And there was no police stopping us then. So why suddenly? Did they suddenly wake up to say, okay, we are going to make sure that this event does not go? What is the key issue here? What is the personality? What is the security concern that did not exist 2 weeks ago when Arebe Shola was with us in Etiosa, or in Ojo the 2 weeks before that, or in Koshofe? So what is it? Why suddenly is this a security event? And why can't we just be informed? Oh, sorry, Chairman ADC, we have security reports that, there's going to be disruption, this and that. For your own safety and for the safety of negotiants.
Okay, so you've said this, and we get that. But I'm asking, what is the next move for your party? Going forward, are you going to continue with your meeting, or you are going to wait?
See, the purpose of today's meeting is to receive another batch of decampees. Just like APC has been receiving decampees all over the country. When Jandor decamped from PDP to APC, he was well received. He had an event and people gathered and there was no problem. So people are decamping to ADC and they're doing it in a normal way, which is to organize a meeting so that they can tell the media they're decamping. That's all that was supposed to happen. And I don't understand how that can now suddenly become a security issue when it has been done, to the ruling party in the past year or so, and now people are doing it to the credible opposition, and suddenly it's a security problem. So we will continue because we are not violating any law. If there's a law we are violating, just inform us which law we have violated. We have not violated any law. Freedom of association, freedom of gathering is guaranteed in the Constitution and as well as United Nations constitutions.
I wish we had more time, but we're so limited in the time we have available for this conversation. I have to interject. I apologize. Mono, you said you're going out tomorrow. What likely scenario are you expecting to play out based on how the police conducted themselves today?
Well, with the way the securities, secured that particular premises, I don't see how, it will be easy for anybody to come in, let alone a good number of persons who are coming to hold a meeting. And another thing I must tell our viewers is that from the invitation, from the promo for the meeting, it was called a rally. And now the chairman is saying that it was not a rally, so just to put it out there. So I don't see how they'll be able to have access to the meeting. So what we're likely going to see is probably an altercation where you will find, party chieftains, standing up to the police, and who knows? Okay,
I think we have the chairman here. Just before we go, quickly, are you planning to be at that venue tomorrow in spite of the restrictions put up by the police?
Like we said, the police have not told us whether they are restricting us or they are protecting us. So we'll find out tomorrow.
All right. Thank you very much for obliging us tonight. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Mono, thank you for being here as well.
Glad to be with you, Felicity.
Coming up tonight, federal government counts gains of fuel subsidy removal. We'll tell you about this story and others after this break. And one of our headline stories tonight, the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers has accused Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, and his cousin, Sayu Aliyu Dantata, of attempt to monopolize the country's downstream oil and gas distribution while undermining workers' rights. In a statement signed by National President, Comrade Prince Williams Akporeha, and General Secretary, Comrade Afolabi Olawale, the union condemned what it called unlawful and unconstitutional anti-union practices linked to the Dangote Group and MRS Energy owned by Dantata. This controversy follows Dangote's June announcement to import 10,000 compressed natural gas trucks for nationwide distribution of petroleum and diesel products starting August the 15th. Let's now tell you that the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, has said that the removal of petrol subsidy has significantly boosted the state's revenues. Edu revealed that since the subsidy was removed, states' funds have doubled, enabling them to contribute more effectively to critical sectors like healthcare. It described the subsidy removal as a tough but necessary decision that helped restore fiscal balance, not only at the federal level, but also across the states. Edu pointed out that the petrol subsidy was a major distortion, benefiting a small number of people and foreign entities consuming about 2.5% of Nigeria's GDP. The Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, in partnership with Matnebi Nigeria Limited, has trained 50 youths in Lagos on project management. The program is part of the federal government's Renewed Hope agenda, aimed at empowering young Nigerians with relevant skills. We have details in this report.
Generation of skilled professionals, the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, in partnership with Matnebi Nigeria Limited, has empowered 50 young Nigerians with practical knowledge in project management. Through its Human Capacity Development Program, participants were selected via an online platform to undergo a free intensive 3-day training in Lagos.
I especially love that it was very hands-on and practical. It wasn't a lot of theory. Working with like projects management, a lot of the things that we do are very detailed. And in terms of like the software and the tools that we use, I would say that I now have like the prerequisite skills to use like a more robust software, because the Oracle P6 Primavera software is far robust than what I was using.
We have been taught to handle business strategies, business management and planning. We have been given a resource to empower ourselves and also give back to the society, be it in Nigeria or outside Nigeria diaspora.
And as somebody that engages in long campaign and long projects for businesses, it's good to have a skill set like this, because it helps you streamline your management processes. So before using Oracle Primavera, before learning how to use it, I use Microsoft Excel to manage my projects, which is you categorize based on what you are doing according to the rows and columns. But with this, there's a lot of automation that comes into the process.
The program focused on Oracle Primavera PC, a globally acclaimed software for managing complex projects, giving the youths hands-on experience with tools used by industry leaders worldwide. The organizers say the program is not just about imparting technical skills, but also about preparing Nigerian youths to contribute positively to society and the economy.
Been able to train 50 Nigerian youths in Lagos here for the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, just to impact in their lives. The excitement of the people in this hall, you know, they've been clamoring for this opportunity, and thank God for this administration for bringing this to them. I know they'll be very surprised that from nowhere this will come to them. That's to show you how the government have these people at heart. And I know very well that by the time we keep training more youth like this, we'll cope, we'll reduce the insecurity.
For participants, the training has opened new opportunities in project management, while for the organizers, it's a step towards building a skilled workforce for Nigeria's future.
To security matters now. The Defense Headquarters says that Nigerian troops have eliminated key terrorist commanders allegedly responsible for various attacks on innocent citizens within the last 1 month. Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Marcus Kangi, while giving an operational update to newsmen in Abuja, says that some of the terrorists hibernating in communities in Plateau State were also picked up during assault operations, while terrorists, kidnappers and gun runners were also arrested by troops.
Troops eliminated some key terrorist commanders during firefights as well as through air bombardment. They have also arrested terrorists, kidnappers, and other criminals. The likes of Adamu Buba, otherwise known as My Panshin in Rion, and Abdullah Abubakar, who have been terrorizing Rafiki village in Basa local government area of Plateau State. We are taking off while two suspected gun runners were arrested along Koi Kefi Road in Jama'a local government area of Kaduna State. Similarly, two suspected kidnappers identified as Mohammed Sanusi and Usman Al-Haji Bala were arrested in Obajena, local government areas of Kogi State.
Meanwhile, Edo State's war on cultism and violent crime is recording fresh gains. The Special Security Squad, codenamed Operation Flush Out Cultists and Kidnappers, has arrested 9 suspected cultists and recovered firearms in Ovia Northeast, continuing its push to restore peace across the state. We have details in this report.
For residents of Igwoshodin, Nikbemaba, relief has finally returned after weeks of unease. Security operatives moved in on the community, responding to intelligence that cult groups were terrorizing locals. By the end of the operation, 9 suspects were in custody. Firearms, including Beretta pistols, cut-to-size double-barrel guns, and AK-47 ammunition were all recovered.
But we had a distress call that some cult members in Omi community, Northeast local government area, were constituting nuisance. On before this day, report has, been going around at these places because some of the neighbors have been reporting these issues before we swing into actions. And on getting to this location, during our raids, we were able to arrest 9 persons. After search being carried out immediately, we found arms that they used to perpetrate acts here. And some of these members are members of the Eye cult group. If you could even do your interview, you would see some of the persons were not just only celebrating, they were even pointing fingers at some of them that were really notorious persons in the community. So I believe we've done a great job, and Edo will be happy again.
Authorities say the suspects are linked to the Eye Confraternity, a group known for violent clashes across the state. The arms were traced to a property linked to the Okaigele of Omi Osazua Igbinewaka, now declared wanted for allegedly fueling unrest. This latest raid is part of a string of operations in recent weeks, with the Special Security Squad intensifying its crackdown on cult groups and kidnappers across Edo.
We saw some Berettas. I'm not really a gun person, but the ones that we saw, I think those are not guns for civilians. Apart from the one that I usually am used to, the cut-to-size, that the barrel size cut, but the other I think is a police kind of weapon that was attached there and some other bullets recovered.
Edo security forces say this is only the beginning. With more raids expected, the state government insists criminals will have nowhere left to hide.
Still ahead tonight, United Nations urges U.S. to revoke sanctions on Palestinian NGOs. Details of this and more when we return. Outside Nigeria, the United Nations Human Rights Chief has condemned the U.S. sanctions on Palestinian rights groups, calling them unacceptable and urging their immediate withdrawal. Volker Turk praised the NGOs, Al-Haq, the Palestinian Center for Human Rights, and Al-Mizan for decades of vital work documenting human rights violations. The U.S. imposed sanctions on these groups for cooperating with the International Criminal Court in investigating Israeli nationals without Israel's consent. U.S. Secretary of State announced the measures blocking U.S. financial dealings with the organizations. Meanwhile, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has been blocked from attending the UN General Assembly session in New York next month after he and 80 other Palestinian officials had their visas revoked. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio blamed them for undermining peace efforts and for seeking the unilateral recognition of a conjectural Palestinian state. The decision welcomed by Israel is unusual, as the U.S. is expected to facilitate travel for officials of all countries wishing to visit the UN headquarters. The ban comes as France leads international efforts to recognize a state of Palestine at the session, a move Donald Trump's administration has opposed. For this conversation, let's turn to global policy analyst Alexander von Rugen. It's good to have you on the news. Thanks for being here. What are the potential long-term implications of the U.S. blocking Palestinian officials from attending the UN General Assembly? Won't this further escalate the already strained relationship between the U.S., Palestine, and other UN member states?
Well, obviously, yes, but this isn't the first time it's happened. In 1988, the U.S. also blocked Yasser Arafat, the then leader of the PLO, from coming into America, and the General Assembly reconvened in Geneva, where Arafat did attend and was heard.
The ban, we understand, comes as France leads international efforts to recognize the state of Palestine at the session, a move we all know Donald Trump's administration has opposed. I'd like your thoughts on this.
Well, it's gained a little bit of traction because Canada, the UK, and Australia have also announced that they tend to support Palestinian statehood at the next meeting of the Assembly. So I'm sure that has also infuriated Mr. Trump. I believe somehow there may be underlying resentment towards tariffs that are being imposed, which have been politicized now in supporting something that Trump is adamantly against.
All right, the European Union and its legal minds have spoken to the fact that this move by the U.S. is against international law. If you could explain to us why this is and why everyone seems to be against the U.S. On this decision.
Well, it is. I mean, under the UN principles, all delegations, especially with the U.S. being the host country in New York, are allowed to attend. So even if they were from a country that was on a sanctioned list, they would issue visas pursuant to diplomatic passports and accept it. It's important to note, Palestine is not a recognized state. It's an observer state. And that recognition of statehood is adamantly opposed by Israel, of which the U.S. supports. So although the Secretary of State in the U.S. has said, oh, they can come, it's okay, we have to honor them, we have to allow them in because of UN edicts, Trump has said it's against national security interests to let these people in as long as the PLO or the PLA and the PA undermine peace efforts in Gaza. And that's the excuse he's using. So as long as they're supporting Hamas, and Hamas exists, and there's not an acknowledgement of the atrocities of October 7th, and no conceivable concessions, this will persist. I think a lot of this effort is also a delay of support for Gaza which the whole world denounces the atrocities going on there, and a diplomatic resolve as opposed to forced submissions. They want to force the Palestinian people into submission, and that's been the matter that's been up in the air for many months now, since long after the October 7th massacre 2 years ago.
In General Assembly to Geneva, is that even possible? Barely 3 weeks, actually.
Well, as I said, it's happened before. I think, Israel would like to prolong this. They've got an ongoing front going into Gaza right now, and I don't think.
Yeah, but the scenario for 1988, is it exactly being replicated now to make that possibility on a higher percentage?
Could you repeat the question, please?
I'm saying the situation that happened with Arafat in 1988, is that replicated now enough for us to speculate on the possibility of relocating the UN General Assembly?
Well, keep in mind the U.S. still is the highest contributor to the UN at about 28% of its operating budget. It's also a founding member and a member for life. It still wields a lot of influence, much to the chagrin of other members. But systematically, look what's happened since 2017. Trump, in his first term, he withdrew from UNESCO, and then he withdrew from the WHO in 2025, all UN organizations. He also withdrew from the United Nations Human Rights Council in 2018.
Okay.
So he disagreed with the handling of things within the UN mindset, and much more recent with the WHO on how COVID was handled during the pandemic.
All right, we'll have to leave it there for now. Thank you very much, Alexander, for obliging us tonight.
My pleasure.
Let's head on now to one of our headline stories tonight. United Kingdom Foreign Minister David Lammy has been appointed as the country's new Deputy Prime Minister, replacing Angela Rayner after she resigned amid a tax scandal. Rayner's resignation on Friday for breaching ministerial code after underpaying tax on her flat prompted a major cabinet reshuffle, with Lammy's elevation to Deputy Prime Minister among a raft of new appointments. The departure of Rayner, a figure viewed by many as a Ballist of the left and a potential successor to Prime Minister Keir Starmer, has created turmoil in the Labour Party, which now trails hard-right firebrand Nigel Farage's Reform UK party in national polls. Business, sports and entertainment will be up next after this break.
In business now, the Central Bank of Nigeria has directed banks, payment service markets, banks and other financial institutions to channel all regulatory reports and inquiries to its newly created compliance department established in Q1 2025 and operational from Q2. The department oversees non-prudential and emerging risks. Its mandate covers financial crime supervision, market conduct, enterprise security, cybersecurity, data protection, and corporate governance, including ESG oversight. The CBN said the reform consolidates regulatory effectiveness, clarifies institutional responsibilities, and strengthens oversight. Institutions will soon receive specific submission guidelines, and the Apex Bank urged cooperation to ensure smooth transition and uphold the highest compliance standards. And talking about the blue economy, Nigeria and China have agreed to strengthen cooperation in the marine and blue economy, focusing on port development, aquaculture exports, and vessel ownership. During a meeting in Abuja, Minister Adegboyega Oyetola outlined Nigeria's vast maritime potential, while Chinese Ambassador Yun Dunhai praised the Lekki deep sea port as a model of collaboration. And China has approved zero tariffs on Nigerian aquaculture exports, opening new markets for local producers. Both nations also signed a $2 billion maritime investment deal to drive vessel acquisition, freight contracts, maritime training, and job creation. The initiative is expected to generate about 2,000 jobs annually and train 25,000 Nigerian seafarers. And so we tell you that the Naira rose to a 6-month high of about 1,514 Naira 86 kobo to a dollar at the official foreign exchange market, supported by strong FX inflows and near record reserves. It last traded stronger on March 6, 2025 at 1,512 Naira 30 kobo to a dollar. The currency gained 0.4% from 1,521 Naira 45 kobo to a dollar on Wednesday, according to the CBN data made available. And in the parallel market, the Naira held at 1,535 Naira. External reserves stood at $41.30 billion as of September 4, slightly below a 4-year peak. Analysts noted inflows reached $29 billion in Q1 2025, led by autonomous sources and foreign portfolio investments, helping to stabilize the Naira within the 1,500 Naira and 1,600 Naira to a dollar range. And we wrap with this. Artificial intelligence, often described as the new electricity, carries immense potential to reshape economies, industries, and daily life. Yet, an MIT study shows that 95% of enterprise AI pilots fail to deliver measurable returns, with only 5% succeeding. With the continent's AI market expected to surge from $4.5 billion in 2025 to about $16.5 billion by 2030, AI researcher and data management specialist Finyifolu Awotoye outlines how African nations can turn this domestic growth into exportable AI services that bring in much needed foreign exchange.
To build talent, we need to build talent, invest in talent, and provide them the infrastructure they need. And when I say infrastructure, I mean the AI, access to AI facilities that this talent need that will help us become a haven.
And that's it on Business News. I am Lekon Onobanjo. Sports News is next with Favor.
And in sport, South Africa's Bafana comfortably beat Lesotho 3-0 in their 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier at the Free State Stadium in Bloemfontein on Friday night to strengthen their bid for a place at next year's tournament. Mohau Nkota broke the deadlock in the 15th minute of the clash before Lyle Foster added to the scoreline in the 64th minute, capitalizing on a goalkeeper error to make it 2-0 for Bruce Chargers. Just 3 minutes after the restart, Oswin Apolis scored the third goal for Bafana. Meanwhile, in Abidjan, Steve Munil scored the only goal in the 77th minute to give Benin Republic a 1-0 win over Zimbabwe. The result means South Africa stay top of Group C with 16 points, followed by Benin Republic with 11 points. Rwanda are in third place with 8 points, while Nigeria are in fourth with 7 points. Lesotho and Zimbabwe are fifth and sixth respectively. Meanwhile, Super Eagles midfielder Frank Onyeka has expressed confidence as Nigeria are looking forward to the crucial clash against Rwanda and South Africa. The Brentford star stressed that the team is working hard both physically and mentally to ensure they deliver when it matters most. Onyeka noted that the players are fully aware of the weight of expectation on them and are united in their quest to secure maximum points.
The feeling is good. Everyone is ready. Everyone knows, the players will know how important this game is, so we are doing everything we can to be ready.
Nigeria will host Rwanda on Saturday, September 6th at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo, with kickoff scheduled for 5 p.m. local time. Just 3 days later, the Super Eagles will head to Bloemfontein for another decisive clash against South Africa at the Free State Stadium. Still talking football, African football legend George Weah and Didier Drogba are among the high-profile names appointed to new FIFA panel of 16 ex-players, which aim to bolster efforts to tackle racism in the game. The sports global governing body originally announced the creation of a Players' Voice panel at its annual Congress in Thailand in May 2024. Former AC Milan striker Weah and ex-Chelsea forward Drogba have now been named as part of the group, which includes players, both men and women, from 14 countries. Also on the panel are Super Falcons legend Messi Akide and 2008 African Footballer of the Year Emmanuel Adebayo. The panel will advise on anti-racism strategies, participate in educational programs, and contribute to reforms across football. And that wraps it up on Sports Update tonight. And Favor Ito Entertainment is up next with Kate.
Indeed, Kate is here with the latest in entertainment. Hello, Kate. What do you have
Hi,
for us?
Felicity. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Good to see you. We're going to kick off with a story. It's about the Afrobeat icon Femi Kuti, who has revealed why he made the bold decision to leave his father, Fela's band, back in the year 1986. Speaking on a podcast, Femi explained that while performing with the legendary Afrobeat pioneer was an honor, the weight of constant comparisons became unbearable for him. It was expected to dress, to act, and even think like Fela, but deep down he feared losing his own identity and his own happiness. Now, choosing self-discovery, he left the band and moved back in with his mother to chart his own course. The move came with heavy sacrifices. Fans turned against him, critics questioned his talent, and even Fela dismissed his debut album in 1989 as rubbish. I mean, we've seen this play out, and this revelation took social media by storm, took netizens by storm, even citizens at large by storm. But what do you think about this? Do you think that kids of legends like Fela, they should embrace, that greatness by their father, embrace the legacy, or they should just stay independent?
Let me trade back at you. Fela had a father. Do you know who Fela's father is? Nobody should bear the burden of being made to live up to expectation. If they willingly choose it, fine. But if they don't, allow them. And he charted a path for himself.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, R&B legend Angie Stone's children, Diamond and Michael, have filed a lawsuit following the tragic highway crash in March that claimed their mother's life. The case, now in a Georgia court, names the truck driver, trucking company CSRT, and Daimler Truck North America. Now, according to the suit, Angie was in a van returning from a performance in Mobile, Alabama, when it lost control and overturned. And the lawsuit claims that the truck driver was distracted, reportedly wearing headphones, and that the truck's safety system failed. Now, what is sad about this is that her children said that she was getting back in the mix and also preparing for a strong comeback before her untimely death. Now, this is a very tragic one, Felicity, but I mean, she's gone now, God rest her soul. But do you think that this course that is being charted by the children would maybe grant them some sort of solace or closure with regards to their
nobody
mother's
should
death?
dictate how anyone grieves. If this helps them find closure, so long as they have a good case, by all means, they should pursue it.
By all means, amazing. Well, and that does it on Entertainment News for tonight. My name is Kate Adiogun.
And that's our offering tonight. But before we go, here's a quick reminder of our top stories. Police seal off proposed venue of opposition ADC rally in Lagos, cite security concerns. Fuel scarcity looms as Nupeng threatens nationwide strike on Monday over face-off with Dangote refinery. And off our shores, we brought you news that the UK Foreign Minister David Lammy has been appointed new Deputy Prime Minister He replaces Angela Rayner, who resigned amid tax scandal. As always, we would love your feedback. Please share them using the number showing now on your screen. You can follow us on all social media platforms. We are at News Central TV. You can choose to watch us live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, on Arrow TV, and streaming live on YouTube. As always, thank you for watching. Good night.